Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive challenge that literally millions of people face every single day. We're breaking down the daunting, but honestly incredibly rewarding journey of learning and speaking a complex new language, especially when you're doing it in a high-stakes workplace. We're going to extract some amazing insights from a real-world scenario to uncover exactly what it takes to get fluent, get confident, and finally stop letting that language barrier hold you back.
So to really understand how to conquer this, we first need to meet Laura. Laura recently moved from Spain, and she's stepping into her very first day at a brand new job. Right out of the gate, she vulnerably shares this exact sentiment with her new team. She just says, "My English is not very good. Please be patient with me." Now, her colleagues are super supportive, telling her not to worry, saying that they're a team. But the real test is just around the corner.
I want you to put yourself in Laura's shoes for just a second. Have you ever felt that creeping anxiety of speaking a new language in front of a crowd? You know that intense feeling of helplessness and pressure when you know exactly what you want to say in your head, but the translation simply won't make it to your mouth? I mean, public speaking is terrifying enough for most of us, but doing it in a non-native tongue, on your first day, with a room full of new colleagues staring right at you, wow, that is a completely different level of pressure. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. During her first project presentation, Laura totally stumbles. She tells everyone the project is for a new customer when she actually meant client. Then she's searching for the right vocabulary, knowing she needs an online shopping cart, but mistakenly calls it a shopping ability. She is so frustratingly close to the right words, but the sheer stress of the moment completely derails her. Well, this leads to a pretty critical turning point. Her manager steps in and delivers a rather harsh critique, basically telling Laura she made way too many mistakes and suggesting she go get an English tutor. Naturally, Laura is devastated. She totally agrees her English needs a lot of work. But then, a colleague named Helen steps in, and Helen reveals a surprising truth. When she first joined the company, her English was terrible too. She had been in the exact same position. But Helen doesn't just offer sympathy, she offers a concrete plan. She actually offers to become Laura's conversation partner.
What follows is essentially a real-world training montage. Helen takes Laura out into the wild to practice English in everyday situations. They kick things off at a coffee shop, where Laura practices ordering one green tea and a blueberry muffin. Next up, Helen has Laura look at nature and describe it in meticulous detail, pointing out a tree's thick trunk, the oval-shaped leaves with pointed tips, and those yellow and orange edges of early fall colors. They even hit up a market where Laura actually catches her own mistake, correcting herself to ask for exactly 1 pound of apples. By just speaking a bit more slowly, she actually starts catching her own blind spots. All of this incredibly hard work culminates at the next monthly team presentation. Laura steps up, and the difference is literally night and day. She flawlessly details the design team's mock-ups following the client's branding colors. She explains exactly how the dev team is building the website framework. She clearly outlines the live chat box for customer support, and yes, the working shopping cart feature. Her manager is absolutely blown away, telling her, "Your English skills have come such a long way." It's a massive triumph. So how did she go from stumbling over basic terms to delivering a flawless technical presentation? Well, let's turn Laura and Helen's success into an actionable playbook for you. Section 1, the playbook for achieving fluency. Okay, let's dive into this. The path to fluency really requires 3 core steps. Step 1, write down your why. Step 2, make time daily. And step 3, change your phone language. First things first, you absolutely must figure out your true purpose for learning. Like, why are you actually doing this? Is it to get a scholarship? Maybe apply for a better job? Make new friends globally? Or just to seek out new life opportunities? The reason can be anything, but it has to be crystal clear to you. Our source material really stresses that you need to write this goal down on paper. Engrave it in your mind. Stick it on your door, your desk, your wall, wherever. Because when you feel desperate and helpless, which, let's be honest, you definitely will at times, this visual reminder of your why is exactly what's going to pull you back on track. Once you've got your goal, you have to make time for it. And here is a super fascinating insight. The duration of your study session matters way less than the frequency. Whether you spend 2 whole hours a day practicing speaking or just 10 to 15 minutes a day memorizing new words, it's the consistency that actually matters. You can absolutely dedicate less time per session as long as you're doing it on the regular. Consistent daily exposure is what really builds lasting fluency. And speaking of daily exposure, here is a brilliant, highly effective immersion tactic. Change your phone's language to English. Think about it for a second. Your phone is literally always with you. Because you're already so familiar with the buttons, the functions, and your apps, you can intuitively learn new vocabulary just through context. But a quick warning from our sources here. If you're a complete beginner, do not try this immediately. It might cause a ton of confusion and frustration, making you just want to throw your phone and give up. You gotta be mindful and ensure your methods don't make you bored or overly stressed. So the crucial point is that taking small, step-by-step progress is absolutely vital. Because your mind learns best when it's stress-free. Light, positive pressure encourages focus and actually helps you perform better. But rushing and trying to cram vocabulary for months sitting at your desk, that creates excessive pressure, and suddenly learning feels like pushing a massive boulder up a steep hill in the middle of a thunderstorm. That just leads to negative outcomes like anxiety, nervousness, and even depression. So if you start to feel overwhelmed, just slow down. Take a breath, enjoy the journey. Now we arrive at the ultimate secret weapon for language learners, perfectly summarized by that old saying, many hands make light work. You do not have to do this alone. In fact, you really shouldn't. You need the buddy system. Having a partner, just like Laura had Helen, transforms the entire experience from an isolated, frustrating struggle into a shared journey of growth. Learning in pairs or groups offers some incredible benefits. For one, it leads to much better memory retention. Your partners actually help you refine your understanding and correct mistakes that you literally cannot see or hear yourself making. You know, those tricky blind spots? Plus, they provide that crucial extra support and motivation right when you feel like quitting. And hey, if you don't have a Helen in your own office, the internet is absolutely full of platforms where you can find a remote partner thousands of miles away to practice with. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to remember this. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Look, English is a language full of weird quirks. It's not rocket science, but it certainly isn't a piece of cake either. It takes time, effort, and a whole lot of patience. But by combining a fiercely visible motivation with the right daily methods and leaning on a really supportive community, fluency is entirely within your grasp. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to kickstart your journey today. Take a hard look at your own life and ask yourself, what is your true why? And who are you going to ask to help you get there? Figure out your reason, find your partner, and start speaking. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.